Our World, Students' Book 6. Copyright 2020. National Geographic Learning, a part of Cengage Learning. All rights reserved. Unit 1. Track 1.1. Vocabulary 1. Activity 1. Listen and read.
These days, many young people do dangerous and exciting sports called extreme sports. They can be done in the air, in the water, or on land. Extreme skiers reach speeds of 240 kilometers, 150 miles an hour, and can fly the length of 2 football fields before they land. A popular bicycle sport is BMX. Some people also enjoy motocross. Riders race off-road on special motorbikes. In skiing and BMX, people flip in the air. Kite surfing is a kind of surfing. An athlete travels skillfully across the water at speeds of 55 kilometers, 35 miles, an hour or more. If he isn't skillful, he'll crash. Kite surfers, called Charlie Browners, need a lot of strength in their arms. Hang gliding is one of the most popular extreme sports, although the equipment is expensive. Serious accidents are not common, but sometimes people get injuries when they land. Imagine flying like a bird at a height of 6,000 meters, 20,000 feet.
Track 1.2. Activity 2. Listen and repeat. Length. Extreme skiers can fly the length of 2 football fields. Land. He landed after hang gliding for 2 hours. Motocross. Motocross riders have got special off-road motorbikes. Skiing. Skiing is my favourite winter sport. Flip. Some skiers flip in the air. Kite surfing. Kite surfing is fun. Skillful. She is a very skillful athlete. Crash. Be careful, don't crash. Strength. Surfers need a lot of strength. Hang gliding. I enjoy hang gliding. Equipment. I bought some ski equipment. Accident. That skier had an accident. Injury. Lots of people get sports injuries. Height. He is flying at a height of 6,000 meters. Track 1.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read and sing.
A kite surfer surfs the waves. A kite surfer moves with the wind. I've kite surfed in my dreams ever since I was young. Extreme sports, flying high in the air, Other sports don't compare. Extreme sports. Look around. They're everywhere. Really exciting sports. Skier somersault skillfully, incredibly high over the snow. I've skied in my dreams ever since I was young. Extreme sports, flying high in the air. Other sports don't compare. Extreme sports, look around. They're everywhere. Really exciting sports. Motocross and hang gliding are incredibly fun. I've dreamt of doing both ever since I was young. Extreme sports, flying high in the air. Other sports don't compare. Extreme sports, look around. They're everywhere. Really exciting sports.
Track 1.4. Grammar 1. Present perfect with for and since.
Kitesurfing has been popular for about 15 years. Surfing and skateboarding have been popular since the 1970s. How long have you done extreme sports? 4. For 15 years. For 5 years. For a month. For an hour. Since. Since the 1970s. Since I was born. Since June. Since last year.
Track 1.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat.
A helmet. She's wearing a helmet. Elbow pads. She's wearing elbow pads. Knee pads. She's wearing knee pads. Brakes. Always check your brakes. A life jacket. Always wear a life jacket on a boat.
Track 1.6. Activity 2. Listen and stick. Work with a partner.
Are you ready to go cycling now? Just a minute. I can't find my knee pads. You can borrow my old ones. Here you are. Thanks. But where are your elbow pads? You aren't wearing any. They're here. Okay, I'm ready now, Sarah. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Can you wait a minute? I've forgotten my helmet. I can't find it. Can you see it? It's blue. There it is. It's on the floor, next to your life jacket. Hurry up. We're going to be late and we still need to check the brakes. Why don't you check the brakes while you're waiting?
Track 1.7. Grammar 2. Adverbs of emphasis.
Skateboarding is so exciting. Skateboarding is very cool. That trick is really dangerous. That trick is incredibly scary. That trick is very difficult. Those knee pads look extremely cool. Those knee pads look so silly. This boy's helmet looks really cool.
Track 1.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Amazing Adventurers. Danny McCaskill and Bethany Hamilton are two incredibly brave athletes who love being outdoors. Both have known success and failure in their lives. Danny McCaskill is a skillful cyclist who flips off buildings and rides trains on his bicycle. He has often fallen out of trees and crashed since he began extreme cycling. He's been very lucky. Serious accidents often happen to athletes, but he has only broken a few bones and 12 helmets. Born in 1985 in Scotland, he loved cycling as a child, but he never expected to be famous. Then, in 2009, a video of him appeared on YouTube. The video went viral. In 2012, he became a National Geographic Adventurer of the Year. Since then, he has made several more YouTube videos. His videos have been watched over 100 million times. Supercool surfer Bethany Hamilton was born in Hawaii in 1990. She was already an extremely skillful surfer at the age of 8. But in 2003, when she was just 13 years old, a shark attacked her and she lost her left arm. Just 1 month after her injury, she was back in the water. Since then, she has learnt to surf with one arm. She needs more strength in her legs than other surfers because she has only got one arm, but she has won competitions. She has also written a book about her accident. The book became a film in 2011. She got married in 2013 and had her second child, a boy, in 2018.
Unit 2, Track 2.1, Vocabulary 1, Activity 1. Listen and read. Archaeologists have made some incredibly important discoveries in deserts, in mountains, and under the ground. Discoveries tell us a lot about the past. 210 BCE. Over 700,000 men built an enormous tomb for Chinese ruler Qin Shi Huang, including this army of terracotta statues. When the ruler died, the statues were buried with him in a tomb. Archaeologists excavated the tomb and found over 6,000 statues of soldiers and horses. Each statue is different. 450 CE. This female mummy was found in a tomb in Peru. She was beautifully preserved, with tattoos of snakes and spiders on her body. No one knows the cause of her death or why men were buried with her. 650 CE. In 2009, this treasure was found in a field in England. Later, archaeologists discovered over 3,500 objects there. Scientists have analysed what they found. They know when the gold was buried, but they don't know who buried it or why. Did thieves hide it? Track 2.2. Activity 2. Listen and repeat.
A tomb. Scientists found the statues in the tomb. A ruler. I saw the statue of a Chinese ruler. A statue. I really liked the statues at the museum. Die. When the ruler died, they buried him with the statues. Bury. The mummy was buried in a big tomb. Excavate. Archaeologists excavated the tomb. A mummy. I saw a mummy at the museum. Preserve. The mummy was well preserved. Tattoos. The mummy has got tattoos on her body. A cause. No one knows the cause of her death. Treasure. They found treasure in the tomb. Discover. The treasure was discovered by accident. An object. There were many objects in the tomb. Analyze. Scientists are analysing the mummy. Gold. They found lots of gold coins. A thief. Thieves stole the treasure.
Track 2.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read and sing.
History's a mystery, and that's why I like history. Buried statues and mummies too, so much to learn, so much to do. Excavated kings were found by archaeologists. Anglo-Saxon treasure was discovered in the mist. The terracotta army was found deep underground. Just think what you might find if you look around. History's a mystery, and that's why I like history. Buried statues and mummies too, so much to learn, so much to do. Objects that were hidden can be found by scientists. Pottery and paper, gold and money in the mist. If we learn from history, wisdom from the past can help us answer questions we really want to ask. History's a mystery, and that's why I like history. Buried statues and mummies too, so much to learn, so much to do. History's a mystery, and that's why I like history. Buried statues and mummies too, so much to learn, so much to do.
Track 2.4. Grammar 1. Passive voice. Past simple.
The Sphinx was built around 2500 BCE.
It wasn't excavated until 1925.
The statues were discovered in a tomb.
The statues weren't broken.
Where was the treasure found?
The treasure was found in a field.
Track 2.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat.
A CT scan. The scientist did a CT scan. An artifact. They discovered an ancient artifact. A DNA test. To learn about the mummy, they did a DNA test. A site. They found artifacts at the site. A sample. They are analyzing a sample.
Track 2.6. Activity 2. Listen and stick. Order the blue stickers to show what the archaeologist discovered. Then work with a partner. Order the green stickers to say how she solved the mysteries.
The discovery. I'm an archaeologist. About 5 years ago, I discovered a man and a woman buried in a tomb. It was a big mystery. But since then, we've learnt a lot about them. For example, first, we thought that they weren't from the same family. But now we know that they were brother and sister. Second, we discovered what they ate and drank before they died. They ate meat. That was very useful. Third, we wanted to know the cause of their death. We thought they died from an illness, and we were correct. Fourth, lots of their things were stolen by thieves, so we weren't sure how they lived. But now we know that they were rich. Finally, we weren't sure where these two people were from. In the end, we discovered that they lived near the place where we found them.
Track 2.7. Grammar 2. Passive voice. Past simple with by plus agent. The hiker found the mummy. The mummy was found by the hiker. The divers didn't find the bottles. The bottles weren't found by the divers. Did thieves break the pottery? Was the pottery broken by thieves? Track 2.8. Activity 1. Read and answer. Complete the sentences. Then listen to check your answers.
In 1991, a mummy was discovered by hikers in the mountains. The mummy was over 5,000 years old, but he was preserved in ice. No one knew his name, so he was described by people around the world as the Iceman. For the next 10 years, the Iceman's body was analyzed by scientists. At first, people didn't know how the Iceman died, but in 2001, the Iceman was studied by Paul Gostner, who found an injury on the Iceman's arm. In 2005, the Iceman was checked by doctors using a CT scan machine. We now know that he died from the injury. But who was the Iceman killed by?
Track 2.9. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
The amazing discovery of King Tut. Egypt is full of really exciting and ancient discoveries, but the most famous is the tomb of King Tutankhamun, King Tut. Howard Carter and another English archaeologist spent years looking for the tomb. Carter found it in 1922, after someone discovered an artifact with the king's name on it near the site. Inside the tomb, Carter found hundreds of gold objects, over 3,000 pieces of treasure, and, most importantly, King Tut's mummy. Although King Tut was buried more than 3,000 years ago, his DNA was perfectly preserved. Later, Dr. Zahi Hawass, a famous Egyptian archaeologist, moved the artifacts and the mummy to a museum. Who was King Tut? He was an Egyptian boy who became a ruler in 1333 BCE at the age of 9. We know from the date of some artifacts that he ruled until he died in 1323 BCE. Tut was buried with all of the objects he would need in his next life. Why did he die so young? The cause of his death is not known. In 1968, his mummy was analysed by scientists who found broken bones in the skull. A CT scan of the mummy in 2006 showed that Tut broke his leg before he died. A DNA test showed that he had malaria. Nobody knows exactly how he died. History is a mystery.
Unit 3, Track 3.1, Vocabulary 1, Activity 1. Listen and read.
1,000 years ago, chocolate was so valuable that it was used as money. Now we use chocolate every day and on special occasions, such as World Chocolate Day on the 7th of July. Chocolate comes from the cacao tree, which grows near the equator. After 4 years, the trees start to produce pods. Farmers open the pods and take out the seeds. Vanilla, sugar, cinnamon and other spices are added to the ground-up seeds. The origin of chocolate is interesting. As early as 2,000 years ago, people of the Americas were mixing cacao beans, water and spices to make a drink. In 1502, Christopher Columbus brought cacao beans back to Spain. People later learned how to change chocolate from liquid to solid. And by 1847, they were enjoying chocolate bars. Today, there are thousands of types of chocolate bars, milk and dark chocolate in fun shapes, some with delicious fillings like caramel. We have hot chocolate, chocolate ice cream, cereal, biscuits, milkshakes, cocoa powder, and even chocolate sculptures.
Track 3.2, Activity 2. Listen and repeat.
An occasion. We eat birthday cake on special occasions. A pod. Cacao pods have got seeds inside. Vanilla. Lots of types of chocolate have got vanilla in them. Cinnamon. Do you put cinnamon in hot chocolate? A spice. Cinnamon is my favorite spice. Origin. What's the origin of coffee? Liquid. Water is liquid. Solid. Ice is solid. A chocolate bar. Can I have that chocolate bar, please? A type. What type of chocolate do you like? A filling. I like chocolate bars with fruit filling. Caramel. Caramel is too sweet. Hot chocolate. I drink hot chocolate in the morning. A milkshake. I'd like a strawberry milkshake, please. Powder. We need to buy some cocoa powder.
Track 3.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read and sing.
Tell me, do you like hot chocolate? Put some chocolate in a cup. Get some milk and heat it up. Stir in some vanilla, add some spice. Sprinkle on some cinnamon. It'll taste nice. I was making hot chocolate in the kitchen one night. My grandmother was telling me I wasn't doing it right. She was telling me about her mother, about how she made cocoa when she was young. She was telling me to sit down when she said, I'm going to show you how it's done. Put some chocolate in a cup. Get some milk and heat it up. Stir in some vanilla, add some spice. Sprinkle on some cinnamon. Hot chocolate in a cup. Hot chocolate, pour it to the top. Hot chocolate tastes so nice. I learned to make it like grandmother said I should. I love hot chocolate. Put some chocolate in a cup. Get some milk and heat it up. Stir in some vanilla, add some spice. Sprinkle on some cinnamon. Hot chocolate in a cup. Hot chocolate, pour it to the top. Hot chocolate tastes so nice. I learned to make it like grandmother said I should. Hot chocolate.
Track 3.4. Grammar 1. Past continuous. By 250 CE, people were drinking hot chocolate. Was the cacao tree growing in Africa by then? No, it wasn't, but it was growing in Africa by the late 1800s. We were talking about the history of chocolate when I remembered the chocolate bar in my bag. Track 3.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat.
A gram. How many grams of sugar do I need? Mix. You have to mix it carefully. Pour. Pour it into your favorite cup. A recipe. Have you got a good recipe for chocolate cake? Ingredients. This recipe has got 25 ingredients. A teaspoon. Add 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder.
Track 3.6. Activity 2. Work with a partner. Stick the recipe in the correct order. Then listen to check your answers.
First, find the ingredients from the recipe. Second, put them into the blender. Add 1 teaspoon of sugar. Third, mix the ingredients together for 1 minute. Fourth, pour the milkshake into 2 glasses. Finally, decorate them with some chocolate syrup.
Track 3.7. Grammar 2. Cause and effect with past simple and modals. The boy printed out the recipe so that he could read it while he was cooking. We put all the ingredients on the table so that it would be easy to find them later. Track 3.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
The story of chocolate. The story of chocolate starts with the Olmecs and the Mayan people who lived in the Americas more than 1,000 years ago. The Mayas had been growing cacao trees and using the seeds to make chocolate drinks for 2,000 years or more. In fact, scientists have analyzed chocolate residue from a ceramic teapot. The results suggest that the Mayas were drinking chocolate as early as 2,600 years ago. Some artifacts show people pouring the liquid into cups. The Mayas also used the seeds as currency. With 10 seeds, they could buy a rabbit at the market. The story continues with the Aztecs, who also loved chocolate and prepared it hot like the Mayas. But the Aztecs added spices so that it would taste better. Some rich people drank chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some were even buried with chocolate so that they could take it with them to the next world. Between 1200 and 1500 CE, the Aztecs also used chocolate as currency. In fact, by 1500, people were paying 30 seeds for a rabbit. Let's continue our journey. When Spanish people arrived in the Aztec capital in 1519 CE, they tried chocolate and hated it. Without sugar, it was extremely bitter. So the Spanish mixed it with sugar. In 1528 CE, the Spanish took the Aztec seeds and the recipe back to Spain so that they could drink chocolate there. Before this, no one in Europe knew about chocolate.
Track 3.9. Review. Units 1 to 3. Activity 1. Listen to the phone call. Tick the things that Carlos has done.
Hi, Carlos. How's summer camp? Are you still having fun?
Yes, it's really amazing. I've only been here for 4 days and I've learnt to surf already. It's so exciting.
That's wonderful. What are the other people like?
Well, it was quite difficult at the beginning because they could all surf more skillfully than me. So I felt a bit silly. I've fallen in the water about 20 times since the course started. But I can surf with the others now.
Good. And what's the weather like?
It's great. It hasn't rained since Monday.
And what's your teacher like?
She's incredibly cool. She's done extreme sports for 13 years and she's won lots of competitions, you know.
Are you wearing safety equipment?
Yes, I am. They look very silly, but we wore life jackets and helmets yesterday so that no one would have an accident.
Good. And is your teacher happy with you?
Well, she says I need to get more strength in my arms and legs, but she's happy.
Good. And have you made any friends yet?
Yes, I have. I met this really cool guy 2 days ago, and guess what? He showed me how to climb rocks so that I can get stronger. Mum, Dad, can I come again next year to learn hang gliding?
But you don't like heights.
Track 3.10. Activity 2. Listen again. Answer the questions.
Hi, Carlos. How's summer camp? Are you still having fun?
Yes, it's really amazing. I've only been here for 4 days and I've learnt to surf already. It's so exciting.
That's wonderful. What are the other people like?
Well, it was quite difficult at the beginning because they could all surf more skillfully than me. So I felt a bit silly. I've fallen in the water about 20 times since the course started. But I can surf with the others now.
Good. And what's the weather like?
It's great. It hasn't rained since Monday.
And what's your teacher like?
She's incredibly cool. She's done extreme sports for 13 years and she's won lots of competitions, you know.
Are you wearing safety equipment?
Yes, I am. They look very silly, but we wore life jackets and helmets yesterday so that no one would have an accident.
Good. And is your teacher happy with you?
Well, she says I need to get more strength in my arms and legs, but she's happy.
Good. And have you made any friends yet?
Yes, I have. I met this really cool guy 2 days ago, and guess what? He showed me how to climb rocks so that I can get stronger. Mum, Dad, can I come again next year to learn hang gliding?
But you don't like heights.
Track 3.11. Activity 7. Listen to the answers. Win a point for each correct answer. Number 1. The Sphinx was built in Egypt. Number 2. The terracotta statues were made in 210 BCE. Number 3. Tutankhamun was buried in a tomb in Egypt. Number 4. The first solid chocolate bar was invented by Joseph Fry. Number 5. Yes, it was excavated by archaeologists. Number 6. Yes, it was. Track 3.12. Extended reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
A new age of discovery. Many archaeologists believe that the 21st century will be a new age of discovery. With new cameras, robots, and powerful computers, archaeologists can explore sites without digging them up and damaging them. New technology can also help to find new sites, such as the ruins of a long-lost city deep in the rainforest of Honduras. The Mosquitia region of Honduras and Nicaragua has got the largest rainforest in Central America. For many years, there had been stories that it contains a lost city made of white stone, the White City. But nobody knew if the stories were true. Explorers and archaeologists tried to find the city many times, but the rainforest is very difficult to explore. It's thick and dark, with a lot of dangerous snakes, jaguars, and poisonous insects. Explorers found some artifacts, but the city was never found. Then one day, filmmakers Steve Elkins and Bill Benenson decided to try new technology called LiDAR to search for the White City. LiDAR uses bright lights or laser beams to make a 3D picture of an environment. LiDAR can see through the thick rainforest. Because of this, the men didn't have to explore the dangerous forest on foot. They used LiDAR from a plane and they could see several kilometers of ruins. Elkins and Benenson were very excited. They arranged an expedition to the rainforest so that a team of archaeologists could explore the ruins more closely. In 2015, the remains of walls and buildings were found, as well as stone sculptures and other artifacts. These artifacts included animal carvings of jaguars, snakes, and birds, all in perfect condition. The archaeologists took photos and left the objects so that other teams could excavate the ruins more carefully in the future. Nobody knows if these ruins are the famous White City, but they are an exciting discovery, and new technology has helped to find them. What will be discovered next, and where? Look around you. Have you got any ideas?
Track 3.13. Let's talk. Units 1 to 3. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Hey, is everyone ready for the camping trip?
Yes, I packed my bag this morning.
By the way, have you seen that new shark film yet?
No, I haven't. What's it like?
It's great. I love it. I do too. Anyway, let's talk about it later. Back to camping. Has anyone got a sleeping bag I can borrow?
Track 3.14. Activity 3. Listen and read.
What did he say?
I think he said we have to match the pictures and sentences, but I'm not sure.
I missed it too. Let's ask him. Excuse me, Mr. Trujillo. Could you repeat that?
Of course. I'll go over it again.
Track 3.15. Activity 4. Listen. You will hear 2 discussions. Circle the answers. Number 1.
I didn't catch that. What did she say?
I think she said we have to write a dialogue, but I'm not sure. Let's check.
Excuse me, Mrs. Gonzalez. Could you say that again?
Of course, I'll go over it again.
Number 2.
What was that, David? I missed it.
He said we have to write a report for homework.
I don't think so. I'll ask him. Excuse me, Mr. Trujillo. Could you repeat the part about reports, please?
OK, I'll explain your homework again.
Unit 4. Track 4.1. Vocabulary 1. Activity 1. Listen and read. Some of the most beautiful places on Earth are made of water. Seas, rivers, waterfalls, and ice. Read about 3 famous wet places. Do you like to soak your feet in the sea? The salt water in the Dead Sea is good for your body. This sea is about 8 times saltier than other seas. You can float on it. It is about 400 meters, 1,312 feet below sea level, and is the world's deepest saltwater lake. The beautiful Hubbard Glacier in North America has been flowing slowly towards the sea for centuries, carving rocks along the way. It is formed from drops of water that froze billions of years ago. Around 70% of fresh water on the planet's surface is frozen. The Asmat Swamp in Indonesia is home to amazing animals like crocodiles, sea snakes, and Komodo dragons. These wetlands are important because they provide a home to many creatures and they control floods. The plants also filter dirty water and make it clean. Track 4.2. Activity 2. Listen and repeat.
A sea. Let's swim in the sea. A waterfall. The highest waterfall in the world is in Venezuela. Wet. I don't like wet weather. I like sunny, dry weather. Soak. Can you soak these clothes in water for me? Salt water. Ugh! This tastes like salt water. Float. Can you float on your back in the sea? Sea level. Most people live above sea level. A lake. The highest lake in the world is Lake Titicaca. A glacier. When a glacier reaches the sea, pieces of ice break off. Carve. Rivers carve through mountains. A drop of water. A drop of water just fell on my head. Freeze. When water falls in cold places, it freezes. Fresh water. Lots of fish live in fresh water. A swamp. Lots of insects live in swamps. Filter. Drinking water is filtered.
Track 4.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read, and sing.
A world of wonder, a world of water. I've been thinking about all the water in our world. A world of wonder, a world of water. I've been thinking about all the water in our world. There's water in lakes and water in the sea. There's even water in you and me. A puddle of water, a waterfall, a tall glass of water. I love it all. Fresh water, salt water, water in the sink. I've been taking some time to think about how much water there is in the world. It's everywhere. A world of wonder, a world of water. I've been thinking about all the water in our world. Fresh water, salt water, water in the sink. I've been taking more time to think, why do we need water in this world? We need water for crops and water for grass. We need water for plants and animals too. Everything needs water, everything needs water. I know that's true. A world of wonder, a world of water. I've been thinking about all the water in our world. A world of wonder, a world of water. Have you been thinking about all the water in our world?
Track 4.4. Grammar 1. Present perfect continuous with for and since. How long have you and your sister been having swimming lessons?
I've been having swimming lessons for 3 months.
I've been having swimming lessons for about a year.
My sister has been having swimming lessons since March.
My sister has been having swimming lessons since she was 9.
Track 4.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat.
A tap. How do you turn on the tap? Leak. The water is leaking on the floor. A drain. That drain smells horrible. Save. People need to save water. There's a drought. Running water. Lots of people haven't got running water in their homes. Waste. Don't waste water. You should save it.
Track 4.6. Activity 2. Listen and stick. Work with a partner. Compare your answers.
It's easy to be a water hero. Here are some ideas you can use. Number 1. When you brush your teeth, don't leave the water running. It wastes 11 litres of water every minute. Number 2. Here's another idea. Turn off the tap when you wash the dishes. It uses about 40 litres of water every minute. Number 3. Every time someone uses a dishwasher, 15 litres of water go down the drain. Make sure the dishwasher is full of dirty dishes when you use it. Number 4. You can save a lot of water by having a quick shower. A 5-minute shower uses 75 litres of water. Number 5. When you have a bath, you use 265 litres of water. Baths waste a lot of water. Number 6. Have you got a leak in your home? Leaks waste about 230 litres of water every day. Make sure you tell someone about it. It's easy to be a water hero.
Track 4.7. Grammar 2. Whatever, whenever, wherever, whoever. Do whatever you can to save water. Save fresh water whenever you can and wherever you go. Whoever put paint down the drain is in trouble. Track 4.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
A world of water. Nearly 75% of the Earth is covered by water. There is water that's above the ground called surface water, such as lakes, swamps and rivers, and there is water that's under the ground called groundwater. Water even exists in the sky. That is called water vapour. There is water everywhere. Although there's a lot of water, we can't drink most of it. Most of the Earth's water, 97.5%, is salt water, which humans can't drink. The rest is fresh water, which we can drink. However, we can't use most of our drinking water because 70% of it is frozen, like the Hubbard Glacier. Also, we can only reach 30% of our groundwater, and most of that is polluted. In fact, we can only drink about 1% of the world's fresh water. We don't drink most of our fresh water. Only 5% goes to the taps in our homes. About 95% is used to produce food, clothes, and energy. We don't see that water, but it is a big part of our water footprint, the total amount of water we use. For example, we don't see the water that was used to make a t-shirt. We only see the t-shirt. But 2,700 litres, 713 gallons of water were used to produce it. Earth has always had the same amount of water. However, there are more people on the planet now, and we all need water. If we want water in the future, we must not waste it or pollute it now.
Unit 5, Track 5.1, Vocabulary 1, Activity 1. Listen and read.
We share our planet with millions of small creatures. Cool spiders, beautiful striped butterflies, ugly insects, cute hamsters, and fascinating fish. Can you think of more little creatures that live on Earth? Eyelash mites are 0.3 millimeters long. You can only see them through a microscope. They look horrible, but they're very common. Habitat: our eyelashes. Characteristics: these organisms eat dead skin cells. They crawl around our skin at night. This seahorse is an orange fish that's just 16 millimeters long. It's smaller than a human tooth and has got a long, thin tail. Habitat: warm water, near coral. Characteristics: it uses camouflage. It grabs food that floats by. Male seahorses have babies. The male bee hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world. It's about 5.5 centimeters long. The female is bigger. Its eggs are smaller than coffee beans. Habitat: near flowers. Characteristics: it can move its strong wings 80 times a second.
Track 5.2, Activity 2. Listen and repeat. A millimeter. Look, it's only 1 millimeter long. A microscope. I can't see anything. We need to use a microscope. Horrible. Spiders are horrible. I don't like them at all. Common. Ants are very common at a picnic. Habitat. What habitat do lions live in? An organism. An organism is a living thing. It can be a plant or an animal. A cell. Humans have got trillions of cells in their bodies. A human. Monkeys have got some characteristics that are similar to humans. Thin. Giraffes have got long, thin necks. Grab. Elephants grab things with their trunks. Male. My dad, my uncle, and my brother are male. A centimetre. Some birds are very small. They're only a few centimetres long. Female. My mum, my aunt, and my sister are female. Track 5.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read, and sing.
Look into a microscope, tell me what you can see. There's a tiny world in front of us, full of tiny things to see. Let's have a look. My teacher said that creatures smaller than a human hair live in our world. She said we'd find them everywhere. Wow! Some look like strange monsters with jaws and claws and horrible eyes. But don't forget how small they are. Don't forget their size. Look into a microscope. Tell me what you can see. There's a tiny world in front of us, full of tiny things to see. Look a little bit closer. There are tiny habitats where predator and prey have tiny little battles every minute of the day. Wow! Mites live on our eyelashes, that's just the way it goes. What do they eat for breakfast? Do you really want to know? Look into a microscope, tell me what you can see. There's a tiny world in front of us, full of tiny things to see. There's a tiny world in front of us, full of tiny things to see.
Track 5.4. Grammar 1. Reported speech. Statements.
The red beetle is really cool.
My dad said that the red beetle was really cool.
I don't like things that crawl on my head.
My mum said that she didn't like things that crawled on her head.
I can see the eyelash mite through the microscope.
My teacher said that she could see the eyelash mite through the microscope.
You are wrong.
Ben said that I was wrong.
Track 5.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat.
Adult. Look, the adult female elephant is next to its baby. Tiny. We need a microscope to see this creature. It's tiny. Pointed. Some seahorses have got a long pointed tail. Furry. I love rabbits. They're soft and furry. Strange. What's that animal? It's beautiful, but it's so strange. Spotted. This insect has got a spotted back. It's beautiful.
Track 5.6. Grammar 2. Order of adjectives.
Cute young striped furry creatures. Tiny pointed grey ears. Strange black Australian hairy spiders. Common adult spotted insects.
Track 5.7. Activity 2. Play a game. Cut out the game board and pictures at the back of the book. Choose 8 of them for your game board. Listen and play bingo. Number 1. Look at the cute, small, hairy animal she is holding in her hand. Number 2. You can only see these tiny grey organisms under a microscope. Number 3. These lovely tall creatures have got long, thin pink legs. Number 4. This is a common red insect with a spotted back. Number 5. This cute little Colombian frog is smaller than a coin. Number 6. Look at this wonderful creature's soft furry ears. Number 7. These amazing green insects look like they're dancing. Number 8. This bird moves its wings very fast. Number 9. Ugh! This big brown hairy spider is horrible. Number 10. This ant has got 6 long, thin legs. Number 11. Can you see that strange, colourful creature in the sea? Number 12. Look at the amazing red pointed tail on this creature. Track 5.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
There are about 1.5 million species of animal on Earth. But how many do you see every day? You often see the big, colourful animals, like birds, mammals and fish. But look more closely. Can you see the tiny creatures too? 80% of the world's species are insects. Look on the ground. Imagine you could look under the ground. Lots of tiny creatures live there too. Every cubic foot on Earth has got life in it. David Lichwager is a photographer. He wanted to find out how many creatures there are in 1 cubic foot. So he made an empty 12-inch cube with a green metal frame and put it in 5 different places around the world. He chose a tropical rainforest, Costa Rica, a coral reef, Pacific Ocean, Table Mountain, South Africa, a freshwater river, USA, and a city park, New York. He put the cube in each place for 3 weeks. He observed, counted and took photos of everything down to 1 millimeter in size that crawled, swam or flew into the cube. The results were amazing. Lichwager found both common and rare creatures. He also discovered many new species, like a strange transparent octopus that is the size of a fingernail. In total, more than 1,000 different organisms were photographed and studied. Lichwager said the 1 cubic foot experience was like finding treasure. Although the coral reef had the most biodiversity, all the other places were also full of life, even the city park.
Unit 6. Track 6.1. Vocabulary 1. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Have you ever bought a product that broke the next day? Probably not. Why is that? One reason is that it's bad for the manufacturer if their product breaks. It can cost a lot of money to replace a broken product. Also, unhappy customers tell other people if a product isn't good quality. Most manufacturers test their products carefully before selling them. Cars must pass safety tests. To test a car, manufacturers put dummies, which look like humans, inside the car. Then they make the car crash. Crash tests show manufacturers what happens on impact. Toys are tested too. The torque tests twists toys until they break. The drop test drops toys on the floor. Waterproof toys are dipped in water. Machines tear balloons. If something doesn't work, manufacturers fix the problem.
Track 6.2. Activity 2. Listen and repeat. A product. This shop is full of new products. Break. I bought a pen and it broke the next day. A manufacturer. A manufacturer makes products for us. Cost. How much does it cost? A customer. Our customers bought lots of things today. Quality. I like to buy good quality products, even if they are expensive. Test. Manufacturers should test products before they sell them. Safety. Cars must be checked for safety. It's very important. A dummy. Car testers use dummies instead of real people. A crash test. It would be interesting to watch a crash test. Impact. He dropped the glass and it broke on impact. Drop. I dropped my mum's laptop and now it doesn't work. Waterproof. There is water in my shoes. I thought they were waterproof. Dip. If you dip this toy in hot water, it changes colour. Tear. Oh no! I just tore my favourite t-shirt. Fix. It's broken. Can you fix it, please? Track 6.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read and sing.
Lots of the things we buy are tested for safety. That's good! Products should be safe. They should be safe for you and me. you buy shouldn't break. A manufacturer should try not to make mistakes. Is this watch waterproof? It goes tick-tock. Let's dip the watch in water. It's just a test to make sure everything is safe. Lots of the things we buy are tested for safety. That's good. Products should be safe. They should be safe for you and me. Quality is important. Products should be safe. A factory that makes things should test everything, just in case. A dummy sits in a car. The car speeds up. Crash! Don't worry, it's just a test to make sure everything is safe. Lots of the things we buy are tested for safety. That's good. Products should be safe. They should be safe for you and me. Safe for you and me.
Track 6.4. Grammar 1. Reported speech. Imperatives. Put your pen in your backpack.
Mum told me to put my pen in my backpack.
Don't break my toys.
My brother told me not to break his toys.
Track 6.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat. Reception. My mobile phone has got very bad reception at home. Wi-Fi. My phone hasn't got Wi-Fi. An app. What apps has your new phone got? A text message. My grandparents don't know how to send text messages. A key. I pressed a key on my laptop and it fell off. Wear and tear. Good products must survive lots of wear and tear. Track 6.6. Activity 2. Listen and stick. Work with a partner. Compare your answers. Number 1.
How do manufacturers test the keys?
They press them thousands of times for 5 days.
Number 2.
How do manufacturers test apps like games?
They play them lots and lots of times.
Number 3.
What can your phone do?
It's old. It can only make calls and send text messages.
Number 4.
Are you online at the moment?
No, I'm not. The Wi-Fi isn't working.
Number 5.
Why didn't you answer your phone?
I didn't have any reception, so I couldn't.
Track 6.7. Grammar 2. Reported speech. Questions.
What do I need to do next?
Lisa asked me what she needed to do next.
Can you help me?
Ken asked me if I could help him.
Track 6.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Be an ad detective. Every day we see adverts. On TV, in magazines, on websites, in the street, and on our computer screens. We hear them too, but often we don't notice them. A famous film producer once showed over 100 products in his film, but most people didn't notice them. Are you an ad detective? Can you understand the messages advertisers send you? To be an ad detective, it is useful to know how adverts work. Let's look at some typical advertising techniques. Number 1. Group pressure. An advert shows lots of young people, each with their own mobile phone. Message: everyone has got a mobile phone. You need one too. Number 2. Association. Everyone looks happy and healthy in the advert. They're cool and beautiful too. Message: if you buy the product, you will be happy and cool like these people. Number 3. Testimonials. A famous athlete says he or she wears a certain brand of trainers. Message: you'll be good at sports if you buy these trainers. Or, because a famous athlete wears these trainers, they're a product you can trust. Number 4. Repetition. These adverts mention the product lots of times and say wonderful things about it. Message: you need to remember the product. Number 5. Time pressure. These adverts use expressions like "buy now," "half price this week." Message: you should buy the product quickly before you miss a great opportunity. Adverts are interesting, but you can make better decisions about what to buy when you know these techniques. Try these tips. Read product reviews. Compare products. Test products in the shop and, if you're not sure, wait 24 hours before buying something. You may decide that you don't really need or want it after all.
Track 6.9. Review. Units 4 to 6. Activity 1. Listen. What kind of mobile phone has Olga bought? Tick the features.
Hi, Olga. How are you? What have you been doing?
Hi, Regina. I've just been shopping and bought a mobile phone.
Really? What's it like?
Oh, it's very simple. It's only to make calls and send text messages. Nothing special. I just wanted something with a large screen, strong keys, and that will survive lots of wear and tear. I wanted a phone in a nice colour too.
Well, what kind of apps has it got? Has it got Wi-Fi?
It hasn't got any apps or Wi-Fi.
You're kidding, Olga. I thought you were a businesswoman.
Oh no, it's not for me. It's for my youngest son.
Oh, I see.
Track 6.10. Activity 2. Listen. Number the sentences. Regina, you're not going to believe this. Do you remember that mobile phone I bought yesterday?
Yes? What's up?
Well, it's broken already. My son dropped it in the bath and it got wet. And now it won't work. I can't believe it's broken after 24 hours.
Oh, no. Did you ask the shop assistant if it was waterproof?
No, I didn't. But the shop assistant said that they tested everything. Anyway, most manufacturers test their products carefully these days before they sell them.
Well, did you ask them if they could fix it or give you another one?
Of course I did. I told them that it cost me money and that I wanted it to last more than 24 hours.
And what did they say?
They told me to buy another one.
That's awful. I can't believe it. I mean, you're the customer, and they should know what happens when customers aren't happy with a product.
Oh well, I guess I should buy better quality next time.
And from a different manufacturer.
Yes, you're right. And I'll ask my son not to take it in the bath next time. Track 6.11. Extended reading. Activity 1. Listen and read. The myth of Unk Checula. Unk Checula was a giant water snake that came out of the freezing waters of the Atlantic. She had a long, scaly body covered in smoke and spots, and her eyes were made of fire. Her claws were as strong as iron, and she had a fierce voice that sounded like thunder. After leaving the sea, Unk Checula crossed the land and made her home in the Black Hills of South Dakota, North America. She caused a lot of trouble for the local tribespeople who lived there. She polluted the rivers and flooded the land with salt water so that nothing could grow. After some time, she had some snake children who decided that they liked eating people. The tribespeople had to fight to protect themselves and their families. Unk Checula was extremely difficult to fight because most of her body was very strong and she couldn't be attacked with normal spears and arrows. People said that whoever looked at her would go mad and turn blind. However, she had one weak spot on her body, the 7th spot, which was just over the position of her heart. One day, 2 young twin brothers decided to hunt and kill Unk Checula. One of the twins was blind, so he was safe from looking at her. The twins asked a medicine woman to help them, and she gave them a magic arrow. They took this arrow and shot it into the weak spot on Unk Checula's body. The arrow injured Unk Checula greatly, but it didn't stop her causing trouble. She didn't die immediately, but crawled away and damaged the land. As the sun dried her body, it also dried up the land, which, according to the myth, created the desert in the Dakota Badlands. Track 6.12. Let's talk. Units 4 to 6. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Can you help me with my homework? I'm confused.
Sure, Flavio. What's the problem?
What's the difference between a tornado and a thunderstorm? I don't get it.
Well, tornadoes bring heavy rain. They bring lots of wind, not rain.
Yeah, and the wind moves very quickly, in a circle.
But a thunderstorm is different. There's lots of rain.
Are you sure? I always thought that thunderstorms had lots of wind too.
Track 6.13. Activity 3. Listen and read.
Why don't we write about ants? There are more than 16,000 species of ants on the planet. They're cool.
No way! Where did you get that idea?
Actually, it's true. And according to the scientist Edward O. Wilson, there might be even more species than that.
OK, let's write about ants then.
Track 6.14. Activity 4. Listen. You will hear 2 discussions. Circle the answer. Number 1.
Why don't we make a poster about shipwrecks? There are more than 1 million under the sea. You can't be serious. I can't see how that's possible.
In fact, that's right.
Yeah, it's true, according to the explorer Robert Ballard. Really? All right, let's make a poster about shipwrecks.
Number 2.
Why don't we write about the advantages and disadvantages of robots? Where did you get that idea? I mean, there aren't any disadvantages. Actually, there are lots of disadvantages. Some domestic robots, for example, cost more than a sports car. I've never thought about that before. It's true. I read about it on a website. OK, but we should write the name of that website in our report.
Unit 7. Track 7.1. Vocabulary 1. Activity 1. Listen and read. National Geographic explorers know it's important to be prepared before ascending steep mountains or descending into underwater caves. You need safety equipment like a headlamp to shine the way and rope for a safe return. Curiosity helps too. Let's read about some exciting discoveries and explorations. Matthew Berger, son of famous explorer Lee Berger, made an amazing discovery in South Africa by accident. 9-year-old Matthew was running after his dog when he tripped over and located a 2-million-year-old fossil of a boy. Mireia Mayor is a scientist who observes wildlife. To find gorillas, she crosses streams, climbs mountains, and crawls along tunnels. Her work is sometimes very dangerous. Once, she was even chased by a gorilla. Mayor believes anyone with curiosity can be an explorer. Whenever Kenny Broad descends into a deep saltwater cave, he takes risks. Broad needs lights and, most importantly, a guideline or rope from the surface into the cave. This helps him find his way. Track 7.2. Activity 2. Listen and repeat.
Ascend. Climbers use ropes to ascend mountains. Descend. It takes hours to descend into a deep cave. Underwater. The underwater plant life here is really amazing. Safety equipment. You must wear safety equipment if you go into a cave. A headlamp. Headlamps are a useful invention. Shine. Can you shine the torch on this rock? A rope. This rope is not very strong. Curiosity. To be an explorer, you need curiosity. By accident. I dropped my phone by accident. Trip over. I tripped over a big stone in the road and fell. Locate. Can you locate the cave without using a map? Cross. The explorer crossed the river. A stream. We live next to a beautiful freshwater stream. A tunnel. What is at the end of this tunnel? Chase. Bees sometimes chase you more if you scream. A risk. Why do explorers take big risks?
Track 7.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read and sing.
Let's go exploring. Let's explore. Let's go inside a cave. Let's explore. Make sure that you're safe. Let's explore. There's so much to see. Don't forget your safety equipment and curiosity. We're inside a cave. We're ready to climb down. What should we use to keep us safe? A rope can be used to help us descend. A headlamp can be worn to help us light our way. Let's explore. Let's go inside a cave. Let's explore. Make sure that you're safe. Let's explore. There's so much to see. Don't forget your safety equipment and curiosity. We're deep underwater and we'd like to ascend. What should we use to help us stay safe? A rope can be used to help us ascend. Let's follow it to find our way back to where we began. When we're underwater, in the jungle or in a cave, safety equipment must be used to help us stay safe. Let's explore. Let's go inside a cave. Let's explore. Make sure that you're safe. Let's explore. There's so much to see. Don't forget your safety equipment and curiosity. Let's explore.
Track 7.4. Grammar 1. Passive with modals.
Headlamps must be worn in dark caves. Dangerous places must not be entered alone. New species have to be studied in a science lab. They can't be analysed underwater.
Track 7.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat. A stalactite. Stalactites are pointed and hang from the ceiling. A column. Columns support buildings. A stalagmite. I tripped over a stalagmite on the ground. A bat. Bats live in caves and hunt at night. A painting. I like your painting of a volcano. It's beautiful. Ancestors. The fossil that Berger discovered was our ancestor. Track 7.6. Activity 2. Listen and stick. Work with a partner.
Quiet, everyone, please. I'm recording this. Shh. tired, so we're sitting down and resting. We're looking around the cave. Hundreds of stalactites and stalagmites can be seen hanging from the ceiling and rising from the ground. They're beautiful. Next to me, they have joined together to form a column. Above us, on the roof of the cave, bats can be heard. And in front of us is the most beautiful thing of all. It is a painting of an animal. It's hard to imagine that our ancestors painted it more than 10,000 years ago.
Track 7.7. Grammar 2. Make plus someone plus adjective.
Caves make me scared. Exploring makes Maria feel happy. Heights made her nervous. Seeing volcanoes makes me feel excited.
Track 7.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Angel Falls. Imagine searching for gold, but instead of finding it, you see one of the great wonders of the world. That's what happened to Jimmy Angel. Jimmy loved flying. A miner hired him to fly to Venezuela in search of gold. In 1933, during one of his flights, he saw an amazing waterfall. The waterfall became known to the Western world in 1937. That year, Jimmy's expedition flew over the waterfall and then landed on a tabletop mountain. A wheel sank into mud and broke. The plane was stuck. Jimmy and his crew descended the mountain and then hiked through the jungle for 11 days. After this adventure, the waterfall was named Angel Falls, in Jimmy's honor. Angel Falls is located in southeast Venezuela, in Canaima National Park. It's the tallest waterfall in the world. It's 62 meters, about 200 feet, taller than the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, and almost twice as tall as the Shanghai World Financial Center in China. A column of water falls almost 980 meters, 3,200 feet, from the top of the mountain to its base. Not all of the water reaches the base of the canyon. Some of it blows away into a fine mist. You can travel to the waterfall by canoe or boat. When the boat ride ends, you have to cross streams and hike through the jungle to reach the waterfall. You can also travel to it like Jimmy did, by plane. After visiting the waterfall, you can see Jimmy's restored plane. It's outside the airport at Ciudad Bolivar.
Unit 8. Track 8.1. Vocabulary 1. Activity 1. Listen and read. Robots, or bots, are not just in science fiction films. In real life, they work in many environments. In space, on land, and underwater. They do amazing jobs. Space. Robots can explore space easily because they are mobile and extremely precise. Also, they never need food or sleep. Bots have successfully visited Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, where they were controlled by humans on Earth using remote controls. Earth. On Earth, robots are often used to perform useful tasks like cleaning and shopping. Robovi R3 is a Japanese robot that helps older people. Robots perform social tasks too. For example, Aibo the robot dog is a wonderful companion for people. Asimo, an android robot with human features, can even serve tea and play football. Underwater. Bots do tasks that are too dangerous or complex for humans. They can respond to commands underwater, like collecting information about sea life. Scientists hope to be able to program them to clean up oil spills too. Can robots help us save our seas? Track 8.2. Activity 2. Listen and repeat.
Science fiction. Do you like watching science fiction films? Mobile. Robots are very mobile. They can move around easily. Precise. When you're feeling tired, it's difficult to be precise. Control. In the future, robots will control our cars. A remote control. Where's the remote control? I want to watch TV. A task. Have you finished? I've got a little task I'd like you to do. Social. Lots of animals like living in social groups. A companion. My grandmother has got a cat as a companion. A feature. What kind of features has the robot got? Dangerous. Robots do dangerous jobs that are not safe for humans. Complex. This is a really complex machine. I don't understand it. Respond to. I told the robot to walk, but it didn't respond to me. A command. The astronaut sent a command to her team on Earth. Information. I need some information about robots for my school project. Program. We can program robots to fly aeroplanes.
Track 8.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read and sing.
If I were a robot, what would my life be like? I wish I were a robot. What would that life be like? Now I am a robot. I follow all commands, but I wish I had more features. I wish I had better hands. Now I am a robot. I do what I am told, but I wish I had a birthday. Then again, I will never get old. I am a robot, I can do so many things. Have you ever met a robot that can sing? Now I am a robot. I'm helpful and I'm clever, but I wish that I could fix myself. I sometimes fall apart. Now I am a robot, made of wires and steel.
Track 8.4. Grammar 1. Wish statements.
I wish my teacher was a robot, but my teacher is not a robot. I wish my teacher were a robot, but my teacher is not a robot. I wish I could program a robot, but I can't. Mum wishes she had a robot that played table tennis, but she hasn't got one. Dad wishes the cleaning robot didn't cost so much, but it costs a lot.
Track 8.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat. Then listen and match.
The future is here. Meet Sophia. Sophia has got many exciting features. Sophia has got facial recognition. When she sees your face, she knows who you are. She's got voice recognition too. She can understand you when you speak. She's got mechanical legs and is learning to walk. What does the future hold for Sophia? Maybe she will have sensors so that she can smell, touch, and taste things. Maybe lasers will help her to know what is in front of her, so she won't trip over things. Stay tuned, because the future is exciting. 1. Robots smell, touch, and taste things using 2. Robots can understand what you say using 3. Some robots can recognize faces. They've got 4. A robot doesn't trip over things because it's got
Track 8.6. Activity 2. Listen and stick. Work with a partner. Discuss.
Number 1. This robot does shopping for people. It's got touch sensors on its arms so that it can feel food in the supermarket. Number 2. These robots clean the floor. Using lasers, they can find their way around the house, and they don't trip over or break your furniture. Number 3. This robot has got voice recognition abilities. It can understand people when they speak, and it can even have a conversation. Number 4. This robot has got facial recognition, which means that it can recognize the faces of about 10 people. It knows what these people look like. Number 5. This robot helps people. It's got a mechanical arm so that it can pick up objects.
Track 8.7. Grammar 2. Passive voice. Future.
One day, robots will be programmed to do many of our dangerous jobs. In the future, most people won't be required to work more than a few hours a week.
Track 8.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read. Meet the bots. A lot of people know that robots explore space and build things in factories. But did you know that there are many other kinds of robots? Let's meet some of these bots and find out what they do. Social robots are very popular. A robot called Pepper was developed by Japanese and French engineers. It can recognize human emotions and can even adapt its behavior to match the mood of whoever it is interacting with. This makes it a good companion. Peppa was so popular that it sold out completely in just 1 minute. Medical robots are extremely important. With the Da Vinci surgical system, the doctor sits several feet away from a patient and controls the robot's every move. Thanks to robotics engineers like Easton LaChapelle, a 7-year-old girl has now got a prosthetic arm. He made her an inexpensive robotic arm using a 3D printer and cheap ready-made parts. Domestic robots, robots that clean your house, are very popular as well. There are a lot of different robots that vacuum your floor for you. The BotVac, for example, uses lasers to scan and map your room before choosing the best route to clean it. And if you don't like doing gardening, the RoboMow will mow the lawn for you. Explorer robots are incredibly useful too. A rover called Curiosity is exploring Mars. Amazing! What will future bots do? Unit 9. Track 9.1. Vocabulary 1. Activity 1. Listen and read.
If you dive down to the seafloor today, you will find more than 1 million shipwrecks lying there. Many ships sank in bad weather, like the Santa Margarita, which was hit by a hurricane in 1622. What caused other shipwrecks? Many centuries ago, ships carried cargo to sell to other countries. Ships also carried weapons because they were often attacked. In 1804, the Spanish ship Nuestra Señora de las Mercedes was attacked and exploded in a naval battle. It sank with over 500,000 silver coins on board. Pirates were a big problem. In 1717, a famous pirate called Blackbeard captured the French ship La Concorde. By 1718, Blackbeard was captain of 4 stolen ships and had captured over 300 sailors. According to legend, he buried a lot of treasure, but it has never been found. The most famous modern shipwreck is the Titanic, which hit an iceberg and sank in 1912. There weren't enough lifeboats on board, and over 1,500 people drowned, including most of the male passengers and crew.
Track 9.2. Activity 2. Listen and repeat.
Dive. James Cameron has dived many times. A shipwreck. There are more than 1 million shipwrecks. Sink. Many ships sank when the weather was bad. Cargo. Some ships carried a lot of cargo. A weapon. Weapons are often found in shipwrecks. Silver. Cargo ships carried gold and silver. A pirate. Blackbeard was a very famous pirate. Capture. The pirate captured 3 ships. A captain. The ship's captain worked very hard. A sailor. Many sailors didn't know how to swim. A legend. There are many legends about pirates. An iceberg. The Titanic hit a big iceberg. A lifeboat. There weren't enough lifeboats on the ship. Drown. People who couldn't swim usually drowned. A passenger. Many of the passengers on the Titanic were rich. A crew. A ship's crew works very hard.
Track 9.3. Song. Activity 1. Listen, read and sing.
Blackbeard, where's your silver now? You've buried lots of treasure that has never been found. Blackbeard, I am going down to the bottom of the sea where treasure might be found. I'm not afraid of icebergs, I'm not afraid of drowning. I'm the bravest sailor for miles and miles around. As soon as I'm a captain with cargo and a crew, I'll find your treasure deep in the sea so blue. Blackbeard, where's your silver now? You've buried lots of treasure that has never been found. Blackbeard, I am going down to the bottom of the sea where treasure might be found. Local legend said there's a shipwreck nearby. As soon as I am ready, I'm going there. I love sunken treasure like flowers love the rain. I'm going to dive down again and again. Heave-ho, here we go. Get the silver, get the gold. Heave-ho, here we go. Get the treasure down below. Blackbeard, where's your silver now? You've buried lots of treasure that has never been found. Blackbeard, I am going down to the bottom of the sea where treasure might be found. Blackbeard, where's your silver now?
Track 9.4. Grammar 1. Time clauses with as soon as.
As soon as the Santa Margarita sank, people began looking for the silver. Water poured into the Titanic as soon as it hit the iceberg.
Track 9.5. Vocabulary 2. Activity 1. Listen and repeat. Correct. Please check that your answers are correct. Incorrect. Blackbeard wasn't from France. That's incorrect. Safe. Put on this life jacket. It will help you stay safe. Unsafe. That's very unsafe. He isn't wearing a life jacket. Legal. Is it legal to drive a car when you are 18? Illegal. It's illegal to put too much cargo on a ship. Possible. The weather is good, so it's possible to go out on the boat today. Impossible. I can't do this. It's impossible. Track 9.6. Activity 2. Listen and stick. Tell your partner what each sign means.
Hi everyone. Welcome on board. I'm Sam the safety man, and I'm here to tell you the 5 safety rules on board this ship. First, I know it's a hot day, but you must wear your life jackets. Why do we wear our life jackets? Because they keep us safe. They float and we don't. Please put your life jacket on now, and I'll show you the correct way to wear it. OK. Second rule. Please don't sit on the edge of the boat, because if the boat hits a big wave, it's possible that you will fall in the water. So, sit on the seats at the back, OK? What's the third rule of safety? If your friend falls in the water, don't try to save them yourself. It's impossible for you. Call me, and I'll jump in and save them. Number 4. Some of you have asked me if you can go swimming in the sea. I'm afraid you can't. It's very unsafe out there because there are jellyfish in the water today. Ouch! Finally, it's illegal to throw your rubbish into the sea, so please use the bins on board. We want to look after our seas, don't we?
Track 9.7. Grammar 2. It's plus adjective plus infinitive.
It's important to know how to swim. It's useful to know how to swim. It's necessary to know how to swim. It's helpful to know how to swim. It isn't legal to take artifacts from this shipwreck. It isn't safe to take artifacts from this shipwreck. It isn't right to take artifacts from this shipwreck. It's illegal to be a pirate. It's unsafe to be a pirate.
Track 9.8. Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read.
Journey to the bottom of the earth. James Cameron, the famous explorer and film director, travelled to the deepest point of the Mariana Trench, the Challenger Deep, on the 26th of March 2012. At about 11,000 metres, about 36,000 feet below sea level, this is the deepest point on Earth. Since childhood, Cameron has wanted to dive and explore the sea. Now he has reached the deepest part of it, alone. The Mariana Trench is perhaps the most isolated place on the planet. Because of its extreme depth, the pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench is incredibly strong. The temperature is just a few degrees above freezing, and the place is always in darkness. Although 2 explorers went there in 1960, Cameron was the first to film this strange, dark place. For this incredible expedition, Cameron travelled in a submersible called the Deep Sea Challenger. It was 7.3 metres, 24 feet, long, and 1.09 metres, 43 inches, wide, so small that Cameron could hardly move. Yet the sub was powerful enough to reach the bottom of the sea in just 2 hours and 36 minutes and ascend in 70 minutes. In the Deep Sea Challenger, Cameron spent 3 hours filming the bottom of the sea while its mechanical arms picked up rocks and animals. We know less about the deepest points on our planet than we do about the surface of Mars. But the samples Cameron collected will give scientists a lot of information. When they analyse the rocks, they might discover more about the shape of the land and the earthquakes that cause tsunamis. And by studying the organisms that survive there, perhaps scientists can learn even more about how life began.
Track 9.9. Review. Units 7 to 9. Activity 1. Listen to the story. Tick the ship.
It makes me sad that so many people lost their lives in shipwrecks, especially the Titanic.
I agree, but there were worse shipwrecks than that. A much worse one happened in Asia in 1987.
Really? Was it attacked and chased by pirates?
No, it wasn't like that, Ben. A ship called the Doña Paz was sailing to the Philippines in 1987, and although it was built for 1,500 passengers, the captain allowed over 4,000 passengers on board. So it was a huge risk before it even sailed.
That makes me so sad. Everyone knows that's dangerous.
Hey, Alex, was the ship carrying cargo? Like weapons and silver?
Ben, please listen. Sorry, Alex. Please go on.
Well, another ship called the Vector was crossing the sea at the same time, and the weather was quite bad. By accident, the Vector crashed into the Doña Paz. Unfortunately, the Vector was carrying oil, so as soon as the two ships crashed, an enormous fire started, and the Doña Paz sank in minutes. There wasn't even enough time to use the lifeboats.
That's terrible. How many people died?
We know that most of the Doña Paz crew died, but it's impossible to know how many passengers drowned because the captain didn't have a passenger list. Over 4,000 people for sure.
Hey, did they capture the captain? Ha ha.
Oh, Ben, please. So what about the Vector, Alex?
Lots of sailors died in the fire, but it didn't sink. Later, it was discovered that the captain of the Vector didn't have a license to sail. That was illegal. And the Doña Paz had too many passengers, which wasn't legal or safe. So sad.
I wish I could dive underwater and visit that shipwreck.
And I wish you would be quiet sometimes, Ben. Thanks, Alex. That was really interesting.
Track 9.10. Activity 2. Listen again. Match.
It makes me sad that so many people lost their lives in shipwrecks, especially the Titanic.
I agree, but there were worse shipwrecks than that. A much worse one happened in Asia in 1987.
Really? Was it attacked and chased by pirates?
No, it wasn't like that, Ben. A ship called the Doña Paz was sailing to the Philippines in 1987. And although it was built for 1,500 passengers, the captain allowed over 4,000 passengers on board. So it was a huge risk before it even sailed.
That makes me so sad. Everyone knows that's dangerous.
Hey, Alex, was the ship carrying cargo? Like weapons and silver?
Ben, please listen. Sorry, Alex. Please go on.
Well, another ship called the Vector was crossing the sea at the same time, and the weather was quite bad. By accident, the Vector crashed into the Doña Paz.
Unfortunately, the Vector was carrying oil, so as soon as the two ships crashed, an enormous fire started, and the Donya Path sank in minutes. There wasn't even enough time to use the lifeboats.
That's terrible. How many people died?
We know that most of the Donya Path crew died, but it's impossible to know how many passengers drowned because the captain didn't have a passenger list. Over 4,000 people for sure.
Hey, did they capture the captain? Ha ha.
Oh, Ben, please. So what about the Vector, Alex?
Lots of sailors died in the fire, but it didn't sink. Later, it was discovered that the captain of the Vector didn't have a license to sail. That was illegal. And the Donya Path had too many passengers, which wasn't legal or safe. So sad.
I wish I could dive underwater and visit that shipwreck.
And I wish you would be quiet sometimes, Ben. Thanks, Alex. That was really interesting.
Track 9.11. Extended Reading. Activity 1. Listen and read. An extract from Treasure Island. Treasure Island is a famous adventure story. It is about a young boy, Jim Hawkins, who sails to find the treasure of the pirate Captain Flint. In this part of the story, Jim shows an old piece of paper he has found to Mr. Trelawney and Dr. Livesey.
The piece of paper had been sealed in several places. The doctor opened the seals very carefully, and the map of an island fell out, marked with the names of hills and bays and natural harbours, and full instructions for landing a ship safely on its shores. The island was about 9 miles long and 5 miles across. It was shaped like a fat dragon standing up. It had 2 good harbours and a hill in the centre of it, which was marked the Spyglass. There were several other notes, but most interesting of all, there were 3 crosses written in red ink, 2 in the north part of the island and 1 in the southwest. Next to this 3rd cross, in the same red ink and in very neat handwriting, were the words, "Main treasure here." On the back of the map, the following instructions were written in the same handwriting. Tall tree, spyglass shoulder, pointing north to north-northeast. Skeleton Island, east-southeast, and to the east. 10 feet. The silver bar is in the north hiding place. You can find it by following the east hill, 60 feet south of the black rock with the face on it. The rest of the treasure is in the sand hill, above North Inlet Cape, towards the northeast. Captain J. Flint. That was all, but it filled Mr. Trelawney and Dr. Livesey with delight.
Livesey,
said Mr. Trelawney.
We will leave for Bristol tomorrow. In 3 weeks' time, no, 2 weeks, no, 10 days. And we'll have the best ship in England. You can come as the cabin boy, Hawkins. You will be the ship's doctor, Livesey. I will be the captain. With good weather, we won't have any difficulty in finding the spot, and the treasure will be ours.
Track 9.12. Let's talk. Units 7 to 9. Activity 1. Listen and read.
You know, I don't think we need to practice handwriting anymore. In the future, we won't need to write.
Really? Why do you say that?
Well, in the future, we'll just talk to the computer, and it will write for us. I mean, no one is going to write by hand in a few years, so it doesn't make sense to practice handwriting now.
See what I mean?
What? Are you saying that we won't need to write any notes either? No writing at all?
Well, of course people will write by hand sometimes. What I mean is... Track 9.13. Activity 3. Listen and read.
So, please have a look at our poster. This shows something you can make for your home.
You'll notice that it is made from just a simple object.
This is a good example of recycling.
Now, would anyone like to ask any questions?
OK, that concludes our presentation.
And our time's up. Thanks for listening, everyone. Track 9.14. Activity 4. Listen. You will hear 2 discussions. What are the 2 students showing the class? Circle the answer. Number 1.
Now, let's look at these photos. They show the famous archaeological sculpture in Egypt called the Sphinx.
As you can see in this picture, the feet are huge. They are about the size of a school bus, in fact.
The Sphinx is a very big mystery. No one really knows why it was built or who it was built for.
Are there any more questions? No?
OK, we'd like to thank you all for coming to our presentation.
We hope you enjoyed the photos.
Number 2.
So, this is the domestic robot that Natalia and I made. It's a simple model.
We designed our robot with a friendly face because it is for children.
Have a look at the features on this model. You can see that it's got many sensors.
Would anyone like to ask any questions?
OK, our time is up, so we need to stop now.
Thank you very much for listening and for your interest.
Track 10.1.
This is our world. Everybody's got a song to sing. Each boy and girl. This is our world. I say our, you say world. Our world. Our world. I say boy, you say girl. Boy, girl, boy, girl. I say everybody move. When I say everybody stop, everybody stop.